All
right, you are live.
Are we live? Are we in the game?
Everyone wait. Everyone wait. Let's do this, all right? All right, everybody, welcome to Fourever Rivals. I don't know what happened there, man. It was telling me there was an error and try again in 30 seconds. Like, I don't know. So anyway, but we're here now, people. How's everyone going?
Good evening.
How are we, boys? Okay. Good to be here.
Okay. All right. There's a couple of wounded players on the game today, aren't we? A couple of wounded players.
Man, you guys there, man, you've really let the whole Fourever Rivals fucking thing down here. But before we get into all this, let's just say hi. I know Lou was on there before we even got onto the bloody show. So, yeah. All right, we got this one here. What's this one here? Oh, wow, Jared Cocksmack Wheatley. He's excited. He sounds like a new person there. Matula, always the first one. Hi to everyone. This is going to be a fun night. Rocco, sit back, relax, enjoy. You are the king tonight. Muck and Manny go at each other. It will be hilarious leading up. It will be. We have got a big build up to that big rival match. We've got Tony's on. What a week, Carlton win. Richard Collingwood. It was a very, very good week, just quietly. Sammy Taylor. Rocco, oh, look at this. How are we, ladies? Okay, how you going? How's the back, Seba? Can you let everyone's always worried about your back, mate. Can you just let us know about your back, mate? And then straight on. Oh, look, everyone's just waiting, man. I'm telling you, this is big. We have got already Lone Wolf and sorry, guys. Hey, all, what a great show tonight's going to be. The Essendon frauds again fail to beat a top 8 team. Collingwood lose and we beat Richmond. It just don't get any better, does it? Does it? Fellas,
Yes.
Doesn't get any better than this, mate.
Good evening to all.
We got one person happy and the other 3 are depressed.
I'm telling you, Oh, here we go. Seba, update on his back. The back is getting better after my fall, finally walking without crutches. Seba is like 25 years old and he's got a back of like 85-year-old person. So that bloke's done. All right. This is going to be a good night. I'm really excited. Got my spud ready. So when we talk about the spuds, we got them all ready. So everyone's ready. First of all, let's say a quick hi to Quinn. Tiger Den, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. Obviously a shit weekend, but it's all right, mate. We move on and we look forward to the next week, but good to be here as always.
I hope that that didn't hurt too much. We tried to use a little bit of lube. We didn't bring a full K9 jelly. We only brought like half a tub there when we were doing it. So hopefully you should be right for the rest of the week. Then we've got Magpie Manny, how you going? You look as stupid as ever. How are those shit Magpies going, mate? Another failure?
Hang on. The team loses. What have I got to do with that? You know, at the moment we've got a few problems. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Not happy that we lost, but I'm doing well, thank you, Rocco. And I'm going to.
What do you mean? What have I got to do with that? You are the face of Collingwood on this show. What do you mean? You've got everything to do with this. When they win, it's yours. When they lose, it's all
stupid. You said I'm looking stupid. Why am I looking stupid? I don't understand.
Nah, but you're looking stupid because that's your face. I know you can't help it. I mean, I can improve my humour. I can improve my education. You can't improve your looks, mate. It's all over.
You know what? They say that you can't perfect a masterpiece.
All right. So when you find one, if you're going to let me know, mate, let me know. You're the Greek master, are you? You're the Adonis. When you walk down the streets, people bow.
No, not at all. But we'll talk a little bit about it later.
Phil,
And please,
let's get on.
please introduce my friend who's going to get a big smacking today by me. Introduce him.
Oh, you are both going to keep cop smackings, but we will introduce Marco. And Marco, he now everyone's going to have to excuse me. I've been again copped a bad cough, but we have got Marco, and guess what, Marco? We are here because of Carlton.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Remember that we protect the most important thing. What is that, Marco?
Oh, your home and your family. That's the most
And
important thing.
Right. So, what? Again, do you want me to sing it again? Far out, mate.
Yeah, of
If
course.
I gotta do it. Are we ready? I might have to have a drink for this because the throat's fucked, but it goes something like this. If you want more family to be safe, Carlton Security Doors and Blinds is the place. So don't support a forever rivals and a really top.
Nice.
Mate. And don't forget to ring 83394848. And don't forget to ring 83394848.
Oh, fantastic, Rocco. I appreciate that again, matey. Call 83394848 for a free measure and quote. You know what? Search us on Facebook and like us. Just again, very simple. Just mention us on Forever Rivals or the Jumper Punch, and you will receive 10% of a discount. You cannot beat it. Most importantly, again, protect your home and your family. Give us a call, 83394848. Give us a chop out, based in the northern suburbs. We're here to help you out, guys. Thank you.
My daddy's
Hey, Rocco, I'm just thinking next time when you're singing the tune, I might even get the old.
Do you want to do a bit of a duo?
Maybe, mate, maybe. I'm not going to be playing anything until the Magpies win at the moment.
Maybe we can do a bit of a duo at the end of the. We can do the song again at the end, and you can play your guitar. You want to try that?
This is called a bagalama. I don't want Nicolina to get upset with you. It's called a bagalama.
Is that a baklava? Isn't that the dessert you eat? The baklavas?
V replaced by an M. The V is replaced by an M. Okay.
Yeah, so we're straight into it. But hey, listen, if anyone doubts how good the security doors are, just have a look at Saturday night. Mark installed those security doors along the Essendon 50 line, and they just could not get through there, mate. They could only kick 2 goals for the whole half, mate. So if you think that they don't work, I'm telling you, as soon as he puts up those security doors, nothing gets through. Nothing gets through, mate. Stringer had one right around him, mate. Far out, mate. They're so bloody good. So everyone give him a call, mate. Everyone's already. Jason Prime's already asking, how was Patrick Dangerfield? Oh, aren't you spewing that he bloody got off that bloody suspension? Because he made you look like a bunch of duds, didn't he? No comment? No comment? All right, anyway, what are we going to do? All right, let's keep going. But there seems to be no comment. Here we go. Oh, we might have to wait for the Bombers were running away from. They were actually running away from Dangerfield. Like, what was the instruction? Like, don't go near him. 5 meters. What they think it was like COVID. You had to stay 5 meters away from him. Like, what was going on? Yeah, we can see Mark doesn't. Yeah, no comment. Mark is on mute already. Yeah, no, we understand. We'll get to him. But what we're gonna do is, bada bing, ha ha ha. Let's get into this one because I think that someone has a lot to say about this particular topic. Forever footy, we've got heaps to talk about before we get into the big games. And I suppose the big topics that we're going to talk about probably involved a couple of the big games over the weekend. And we're going to start with What are we going to start with, Mark? Or what are we going to start with, mate? Umpires?
Oh, mate, we can keep going with the umpires. We've been going for the umpires for the last friggin' 12 months, mate. So, what do you want to talk about? The umpires throughout the game this week, or do you want to talk about the umpires through the Essendon Geelong game? Where do you want to start here?
We could start with all. I'll make a quick statement before you go, and then I know you've got a lot to say about your game, but umpiring hasn't been good this year. It has not been good this year. And it has not been good. There's been a lot of the interpretations. No one knows what's going on. Dylan, what's his name? What's our thing called? Quinny, what's his name? Something
Andrew,
Dylan?
Andrew Dylan.
He came up with that statement saying that it's been, what did he say? It's never been any better, or
yeah, it's in the best place that it's been in for a while, or something like that. Not word for word, but yeah.
So he doesn't even know what's going on. They're all lost. Now they've come out this week. They're saying they're not going to come out and actually review any of the decisions anymore. So now they don't come out and do that. First they do, now they don't. They don't know what to do anymore. But there was a couple of controversial decisions, Marco. I'm going to leave this to you, mate, because you've been going at it on our messenger. You've been fully at it, mate. You just keep let us know what's happening, Marco. Let us know.
Yeah, well, look, I was going to discuss this towards the game, our Essendon Geelong game, but if you want to prematurely add to it now, look,
I think just quickly, I just think when we do the Essendon Cats game, let's leave that to the Cats game.
That's okay.
This is a big talking point. So let's talk about decisions and what do you reckon?
Okay, well, I will just point a couple of bullshit decisions that were made. I'm talking about 2 or 3 decisions that were, obviously not correct. Let's bring one up. Jai Menzies, obviously deliberate, running through the point, paid against him, free kick, a goal to Geelong. Sammy Draper, obviously in the forward line, 20 metres out, going for the mark. Obviously the arms were chopped. No free kick, play on. And Jordan Ridley, I think this is going to be a crucial discussion about the prior opportunity at the moment, because the poor bloke was tackled. He was pinned. How else was he supposed to get rid of the ball? Obviously, it was brought to ground and there was paid against him as holding the ball, and that was another goal. So they're just 3 of, I believe, there was 13 free kicks in that game in the third quarter under 13 minutes. And it was disappointing, because when it gets to a stage where the umpires start, taking control of the game and start paying bullshit free kicks, I give up. I can't even bother watching a game, because they make a massive difference to, regardless of whether you're moving forward in the game or not. It can affect the opposition team. So I think Essendon above the shoulders this week affected the game above the shoulders, not physically, mentally, and it brought them down. And obviously Geelong had they had the momentum going forward, and they continued that, and we couldn't stop them. So the umpiring decisions at the moment are ridiculous, absolutely friggin' it was all week. They spoke about it on the media, all the TV shows. It was all about the umpiring decisions with the Essendon Geelong game. So for them to mention that, obviously there's something wrong. Has to be something wrong.
Hey, Mark, can I ask the question? If it wasn't a 45 game loss to point loss to the Bombers, and it was, say, maybe a couple of goals, those decisions could have been huge influence. But when a couple of those decisions were made, they were made at an important part of the game where it could have changed, as you said, the momentum, and that whole can change the whole way of the way the team's going to play. So, the at the moment, the AFL knows that there's these changes that have come through. Obviously they think it's going to be something that has got teething problems, and it's obviously going to be, on the improve. But I don't think the issue is the decisions they're making. I think the problem is the interpretation that's been made, because Carlton's captain, turned around and said that, if you grab him by, one arm and then all of a sudden you drop him on the ground, you're then talking about a safety aspect, that, you might take the player down. You've got one of his hands, so he's only got one hand where he's holding the ball supposedly. And then he smacks himself in the ground, he knocks his head out. And then you're talking about, you're opening up a can of worms. So at the moment, the issue here is the interpretation, as Rocco mentioned. But it's black and white that you can now see that players are not going in for the ball, because they rather wait for the opposition to go in for the ball for them to grab them down for the tackle. So it's even changing, the way the players are thinking, the way we're talking about bad decision making, but it's influencing a lot of things. I don't know what you.
Sorry.
No, we will say. First of all, let's just go over the rules, and let's go over a couple of the decisions, all right? Because I know which ones you're talking about, right? Don't get me wrong. You say there was 13, right? There was 13 decisions, but they weren't all wrong, and they weren't all to Essendon, right? No, they weren't. Now, first of all, that one arm rule, right? I'll tell you something about that rule, right? It might not be correct, and they will change that, right? I mark my words, they will change that rule. But at the moment, that's the rule, mate. And for you to make excuses over that, the rule has been all year that if you pin one arm and you don't make it, now, it might not be correct, right? I'm not saying it's correct, but they made that rule. If you've got one arm pinned and you make no attempt, right, even dropping the ball, trying to kick it, you will be pinned. Sorry, Mark, that's the rule.
Yeah,
that's the rule.
The umpire should be blowing a whistle. He should be blowing the whistle quicker and balling it up, mate. That's the key, because the player that's tackling that player really could have hurt him. So
it doesn't matter. But if you look at that particular rule, I'm not saying it's right, but you're saying, like you keep saying that that's what cost you the game. You should know, your players should know that is holding the ball, and it's happened all year.
Hang on, Rocco. Does that mean that you're saying they should change it?
Of the rule. Different interpretations of the rule. You've got 4 umpires now.
No, it's not, Mark. It's not a different interpretation. It's not.
It is, because there's 4 different interpretations of the rule now. They should be going back to 3 umpires, because then there'll be less interpretation. The more umpires you've got, the more interpretations of the rule there is.
You're missing the point. We're talking about that particular decision, right?
Okay. Was it holding the ball?
Yes. As the rule states, that is holding the ball.
Hey, Rocco, does that mean...
Was it holding the ball, Rocco?
Rocco, you said...
Listen to me. I said at the start, they will change it, and I don't agree with it, right? But as the rule stands, that is holding the ball, Mark.
Okay. All right.
So you must play to the whistle. You must play to the whistle, mate. Like, what do you want to do? Like, everyone knows it. Cripps come out this week and said he doesn't like the rule. I don't like the rule. Quinny doesn't like the rule. Manny doesn't like the rule. But the rule is that.
But Rocco, you're saying they're going to change it. Are they going to change it because what are they? We might as well start calling him Vic Rhodes.
Yeah, I know. And don't get me wrong.
They wait for someone to end up breaking a neck or getting.
No, I know. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. I don't care about that. Right? They will change it because it's wrong. Right? But what I'm saying is, as from Saturday night, that was the rule. What are you sooking about?
So what did you expect him to do?
It doesn't matter, Mark. You're missing the point. That's the rule.
Well, what?
Yeah,
What
but you
did
know what?
expect that player to do? How did you expect that player to get rid of the ball?
I don't know, but that's the
Well, that's
rule.
bullshit. That's what I'm trying to say, Rocco. Regardless of what the rule is, that's what's happening. We're taking too much interpretation of the rule. I'm asking you a question. How is a player going to get rid of the ball correctly? How is he going to get rid of it?
That's the rule. And they had it from the start of the year. From the start of the year, they said that if one arm gets pinned, right, and you don't make an attempt, you'll get caught. Am I right, Quinn? Am I getting this wrong? That is the correct rule, mate. Like
that's their interpretation.
It might be wrong, but that's the rule. See, you're saying, well, you know what he's supposed to do? You know what he's supposed to do? He's supposed to make an attempt.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Okay. So what is the rule when you're
in your statement where they made 13 incorrect decisions, right?
Oh, yes.
Apparently, that's not an incorrect decision.
It is to me.
But it doesn't matter what it is to you.
Yeah.
You know, at the start of the year, you know what the umpires do? They show them videos and they tell them this is the rule, and they know. And Brad Scott knew that because he actually said himself, what he's disappointed about is that your team soaked it up, right, and didn't continue playing. Yes, he did. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
too many undiscretionable decisions.
Having said that, Rocco, Brad Scott and the Essendon Football Club, yes, they had a bit of a cry, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with if you want to call it a cry, but I think that's just them standing up for what they believe. And it's fair to say that the AFL have come back to them and said, you know what? Some of those decisions that we made were incorrect.
Some were incorrect.
Okay, so
yeah, but that one there, you pointed out that one there. I'm telling you now, as far as the rule stands to this day, that was holding the ball.
Okay, all right.
So the umpire can only make that decision. What do you want the umpire to do? What do you want him to do?
Blow the whistle, mate.
So let me ask you another question, Rocco. So if the player's got the ball, and my understanding is if they've got the ball and their hands are free and they get grabbed and that ball falls out of their hand, that's dropping the ball.
Correct.
No, listen to me. The rule is this. If you hold – no, the rule is if you get pinned with one arm and you got one arm free, right, you have to make an attempt.
So
that's
you're going to headbutt the ball?
Even if you drop it and it doesn't, it'll be fucking, they'll ball it up. Right?
That's incorrect disposal then. It's incorrect disposal.
You're missing the point. You're looking at it from an Essendon point of view. I'm looking at it from a rules point of view. If that's the rule, right, there's no use sooking about it because you didn't get 4 points this week.
Yeah.
Full stop, because you sooked it. Right?
No,
so that your statement that there were 13 incorrect, right, decisions is wrong already.
Oh, I've got plenty here. I've got plenty.
I think to be fair, there was a couple of decisions.
Tell me which ones.
Hang on, there was a couple of decisions that were made, Rocco. To be fair, the one let's talk about the one where Draper's in the air and he gets chopped, right?
Now that one there is 100% wrong. They got that wrong.
They got it wrong. Okay. Yeah. Now, when you're talking about a game that's only, what were they, 10 points the difference at the time? Okay. Yeah. You get that free kick in the front, all of a sudden it changes.
First of all, it was like 40 out, right? So it's not in the front.
But it changes the whole momentum of the game.
It might not. And I'll give you another thing. When Draper fell over the ball in the game against Adelaide, right? And they didn't get the fucking free. You didn't say nothing. All you said was, oh, well, that's the way it is. Now it's a big issue. You also said that night on the show, you said he still had to kick the goal. Correct? And he was 10 meters out. Right? That was a wrong decision. But Draper still had to kick it from 35 out on an angle. right? So you can't tell me that's going to make a difference, right? That was a wrong decision. That was a wrong decision. But I guarantee I haven't got time. If I go through that whole game, right, there would have been 20 wrong decisions and 10 would have been against Geelong.
All you have to really do is go through the third quarter, 13 minutes of football, and you'll see 13 bullshit umpiring decisions, mate. There's been a lot of shows. There's been a lot of shows, and I've put in our group chat. I've put in a group chat of a lot of decisions that were made that were absolutely. It's like maggots going. Making
you're wrong.
Right?
You're wrong. Right? No, sorry, you're wrong here because the holding the arm I've just explained to you is the rule. Right or wrong, that's the rule. So it can't be a wrong decision. It can't be
fair enough. That's a free kick. But if I go through some of the other free kicks that I had seen, that was obvious.
We've got something hot off the press. Go for it, Quinn.
Not hot off the press, but I thought it might narrow things down a little bit and, save a little bit of extra controversy. So the AFL, and you might have already seen this, Mark, I'm not sure. The AFL have actually ticked off and also crossed off four of the decisions made on the night and said which ones were right and which ones were wrong. So they've admitted that the chopping of the arms against Draper, that was incorrect. They admitted that. They said, yep, we fucked up. The deliberate rush behind against Jai Menzies, they said same thing. Wrong decision, shouldn't have been called. That wasn't deliberate. They admitted that.
2 goals.
Jordan Ridley holding the ball, they've ticked off on it. All good. And then I didn't see this one, but the no holding the ball decision against Tom Stewart, they've also ticked off.
Because
go and have a look at that replay. Tom Stewart was another one I was going to mention. Tom Stewart took on 2 backmen in the Essendon forward line.
They knocked the ball out of his hand.
He dropped the ball out of his hand.
They knocked the ball out of his hand.
Oh, he's trying to take on 2. Go and have a look at the footage, Rocker. That's what we're talking about now.
I did. They knocked the ball out of his hand.
Oh, it was slapped out.
The ball, mate. You had an opportunity to get rid of it.
It was
slapped. An opportunity to get rid of it.
You actually got to catch it. You've got to.
Another opportunity. 30 seconds later, gets caught by Goldstein, throws the ball at the back of his hand. Play on. I'll give you another one. 2 intentionally kicks out to the boundary line from Essendon's forward line, paid out of bounds. That was
forget about that because that happens every week.
That's what I'm saying. These decisions weren't made throughout the game. Decisions were made within 13 minutes in the third quarter. Okay,
you're wrong.
Another one.
We just told you holding the ball was holding the ball, right? The Stewart one, the ball was slapped out of his hands. It can't be holding, right? It can't be holding if it's slapped. You've got to actually catch him with the ball. Come on. Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. You're trying to find excuses.
You watch the replay, you'll see
another one. No, it's not what I'm seeing. I'm telling you. You watch it. He slapped it out of his hand. Sorry, that's not holding the ball. That's not holding the ball. It's done.
It's not holding the ball. It's dropping the ball, mate.
No, it's not because he got slapped out of his hand. You're wrong. He got slapped out of his hands.
The AFL is always going to back their asses, mate, like they've been doing every week.
No, they're not.
Especially like Dylan there saying that they've been umpiring fantastic. So that's all bullshit. Watch the game. When you
I did, Mark. I watched it and I rewatched
minutes of the third quarter, and you'll see the decision the umpires made was ridiculous.
Was it all in the third quarter? Was it just the third quarter?
Third quarter, Quinn.
What happened to the 5-goal-to-1 last quarter?
Regardless, what happens? Like I was saying, Quinn. What happens when the umpires start to make influences in the game? It's all about the shoulders, mate. So the team. It's not about physically; it's mentally. The team starts becoming deflated. They haven't got that ongoing, force for the game. Geelong's taken an advantage, and then by the end of the last quarter, that's mentally. That's right. Exactly. That's understandable.
Because Collingwood can come back from fucking 54.
Not those decisions that they made.
Back.
Not
Carlton
those decisions they made.
Can I just say, mentally, you aren't up to it. You aren't up to it.
Can I just say that I don't know, and I'd like to be corrected if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time where umpires, the AFL, Dylan, and obviously Laura Kane and all of them have got together and they've actually put their hand up and said, you know what? Yeah, we made a mistake. We're admitting we made a mistake, etc.
No,
but hang on.
Manny, they've done that before. They come out and they tell you the mistakes they made.
Well, this is have they? Because they've really been talking a lot about this game itself.
They came out and said the Draper one was wrong when he did it against Adelaide.
Oh,
that was before Kane come out every Monday.
We've got to accept that all the time, every week.
It seems to be that Essendon at the moment is the only club that seems to have the problem, because we're talking about Draper against Adelaide. We're talking about Mark. You know what, Mark? This deserves.
All right, listen. I'm going to get on to another one because I know you're going to talk about it, and you're going to talk about the deliberate, right? That cost you. Just remember something. I'll tell you something, right? Like you said, no, there was one deliberate that they're talking about. What deliberate? What other deliberate did they get from the goal? On the goal line.
No, sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about the boundary line. We've been talking that all year, mate. You get them and you receive them. Forget about that. We told you that's wrong. Forget about that. What about talk about your 5-1? Talk about Merritt being one of the worst second half captains. Talk about Stringer only kicking like 2 goals in the last 6 weeks. How about you talk about that? But I want to get onto this deliberate, right? And at the end of the day, you might say, and they might say that that's deliberate, but I'm going to show you something, right? This is the actual ruling, right? You got your 9 meters, right? Your 9 meters means that if you're outside of the 9 meters and you kick the ball, it's deliberate. So that's a pretty simple one. From a ruck contest, if you look at the bottom right, if you punch it straight through, right, from a ruck contest, it's deliberate. It happened to Carlton and Richmond in 2013, right? So that they understand. The other two now, if a player has time and space in which to dispose of the football, they cannot rush her behind, right? The second one, a player who is not considered under immediate physical pressure cannot rush a behind, correct? They are the two that we are playing with now, right? Right. Now you might say, oh, he was under pressure. I put together a little video. I can't put together too much, but it's like 4 or 5 seconds, and you'll get the idea, right? This is the first one. This is your one. You saw that, right? We only got a few seconds, but let's have a look at it again, right? Have a look at the 2 Geelong players and have a look at the space that Essendon's got, right? Have a look at this, right? Now, you might say, oh, that's a bit unfair, but I'm going to show you the video that was shown to the clubs about deliberate, right? And tell me what you think about this one. This is the actual video. Watch this. Look at this. That is the actual video shown by the umpires to the clubs. And I'll show it to you again. Have a look at this. Have a look at Gawn. Look how close he gets to him. Look how close, right? He's chasing after him, right? That is deliberate. Under the rules of the AFL, that is deliberate. What your player did was worse than that. That was worse, man. He had plenty of time. Have a look at this again. Look, he looks at him. He's got fucking 3 meters to kick the ball away. That is deliberate, bro. Wait, one more thing I want to say about this, and then I'll let you talk. If that happened on the boundary, right, that would have been deliberate. If that happened on the boundary, that would have been deliberate. 100%, right? But yet now you're making such a issue over when that actual replay that is worse than the actual one they show to the players at the start of the year.
No, bullshit, Ross. You're talking shit now, mate. You're talking crap, mate, because you don't know exactly.
I've actually given you
exactly. You don't know the exact interpretation of the rule. I'll tell you what happened. Right? If you really want to look at that game, the first 6 minutes of the quarter, okay?
No, we're talking about that rule. No, we're talking about that rule. I want to talk about that rule. Forget about it.
The interpretation. Jai Menzies was in the back line in the first 6 minutes of the Essendon Geelong game, and the ball was in the 10-meter goal square. He tapped the ball into play. You'll see it. They'll show it.
Yeah, I know. I've watched
not to go deliberate. Not to go deliberate.
No, I've watched it.
He tapped it in. He kept the ball in play. It was only 10 meters away from the goals. He had some pressure behind him. He tapped the ball into play. A Geelong player picked it up and snapped it for a goal.
All right.
Half time, the coaches went up to Jai Menzies and said, you know what? If you ever get to that stage where you're close to the 10-meter mark of the goals, rush it through for a behind. And that's exactly what happened. So the interpretation changed. So he's thought, I'm not going to try and bring the ball in.
Anything. No,
it does. It makes a difference because he's thinking twice about rushing it through or keeping it in. Now, not one of those Geelong players attempted to chase him, did they? They just waited for him.
You're allowed to do that.
Well, bad luck. It's a point then. If it's within the 9 meters, if you're not going to chase me, I'll take it through for a point.
No, you're absolutely wrong.
Rocco, you're starting to make believe things here. It wasn't a free kick.
I just showed you the rule. I just showed it to you.
It was in 9 meters, and that's the rule.
Forget about it. This is what I mean. Forget about the 9 meters. Because it's within 9 meters, it doesn't mean you can just rush it through. That's not the rule.
That's the interpretation.
No, it's not, Mark. I just showed it to you. I just showed it to you. The player cannot rush a behind if he is outside of the 9 meters. That's the rule, right? A player who is not considered, he was not under immediate pressure. You admitted it. You said the Geelong player stood back. So he's not under immediate pressure. What do you want, Mark?
He's under 9 meters. So that's fine. So what are you trying to say, Rocco? All of a sudden now you can't do it. How many times during the year that's happened?
What are you talking about? If he's not under pressure, right?
He's under 9 meters. He can take it through.
There was a couple of incidences in the Carlton game, if you have a look at it, where we had players 1 meter away and we still handball it out.
Yeah, well, maybe saving the point.
And I just showed you the one with the Melbourne one is absolutely worse than your one.
So what you're trying to say, Rocco, at the end of the day, it should have been a free kick to Geelong. Okay, all right. Well, you're one of the 99,000 million people that have been saying.
I just showed you the rule,
well, that's your choice. That's okay. Let it go. We'll just wait until next week.
Did the umpires? Did they say that was the right decision or the wrong decision?
The wrong decision.
So if the umpires are admitting to it being the wrong decision, then what's the argument you're making there, Rocco? Because
I'm just showing you the rules. I'm just showing you the rules.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're showing the rules. You're showing the rules. But
you're trying to tell me that the one they showed of May, they got that wrong, the AFL. The one they got of May is worse off than the one I just showed of the Essendon player.
But the umpires...
He was more under pressure. The Brisbane player was more under pressure than what the Essendon player was. And that is the official video they showed to the teams.
So why are the umpires So they called it wrong.
I don't think the
They got it
AFL.
wrong.
I don't think the AFL has said anything. They haven't made a statement. No, they haven't.
They're too scared to, mate.
The AFL didn't. And you know that thing I saw that, Quinny. That wasn't officially from the AFL haven't made a statement. You know where that statement came from?
Brad Scott.
Brad Scott said he got a call, and it was supposed to be a private call, right? Because the AFL aren't going to make a statement, and then Brad Scott comes out and lets it out to everyone. That came out from Brad Scott. That is not an official AFL.
And Rat Poison's starting to put a few comments of some old Essendon players here. Heard Weston, Duckworth, Long, Bacon, Eagle. I was just about to say Vanderhaar. You got to put Vanderhaar in there, mate. Put Vanderhaar in there. Got on your Rat
Anyway,
Poison.
all I'm saying is some of those decisions, the point is some of them might have been wrong. Some of them might have been on the bat. But that happens every fucking week. Every week.
13 from 13. 13 from 13 in the third quarter.
No, it wasn't. I just showed you.
They weren't all wrong.
They weren't all wrong, Mark.
Ridiculous umpiring decisions. I could not be bothered watching the show and the game after that. It was just bullshit umpiring, bullshit decisions. I couldn't be stuffed, mate. It just rules the whole game, mate. These 4 umpires, go back to 3, mate.
So the question here is so Brad Scott put that in the media. Has the AFL?
No.
Yeah, obviously the AFL must have been in contact with.
Yeah, no,
Brad
they
Scott.
contacted him, but it was a private call. The AFL have not brought out anything official.
Right. So we're only going off Brad Scott making pretty much an unofficial statement of just basically trying to defend his boys. That's what he's doing.
No, and that's fair enough. I don't mind the Brad Scott defending, and that's what he's got to do, right?
Yeah.
He's got to do that. And to tell you the truth, some of the interpretations do have to be fixed. That is fair enough. But when you turn around and say that 13 wrong decisions in a quarter, you're absolutely wrong. You're wrong.
I'm correct.
No, you're not.
Decision.
Go and sit back, Rocco. When you got 13 minutes, when you got 13 minutes, go and watch the third quarter.
Mark.
No, you didn't, mate.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That's why I put up those videos. That's why I actually spent time.
I've got a couple more. I've got a couple more if you want to go through them, but we haven't got much time on the show.
It's not going to make a difference to a 45-point loss. All that's
telling
it
does. Oh yes, it does. Oh yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
We'll get to that game when we get to that game.
No, it doesn't. Keep going. Like I just don't get it. Quinny, what do you got to say about it? Because Mark,
What's it got to get at it?
I'm telling you, you're wrong.
I'm right, mate. I know.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No one agrees.
Bad decisions, mate. Let's move on.
No, there wasn't. It wasn't 13 decisions.
Oh,
Winnie?
Ridiculous.
I don't think it was. I know it can change the tide of a game, but it's a 45-point loss. You can't blame a couple of umpiring decisions on a 45-point loss. It doesn't help. It's not the reason.
There was more than just 1 or 2.
It wasn't 13, Mark. I was watching the game. It was not 13.
No.
Watch it again. Just watch it, sit back and just watch 13 minutes of the third quarter. Just watch it, please. Just watch it.
I reckon it'll take maybe 3.
Mark, have a listen before you keep going on about the same shit, right? I watched the game on the night. Then yesterday, I watched the third quarter twice because I was preparing for today, right? So don't tell me what I do and what I don't, right? I'm not watching your shit side one more time, right?
That's right. You're not going to agree. You're not going to agree against the wrong. You're going to go against the Bombers, mate.
There were not 13 wrong decisions. There was
13.
maybe 2, and the only one I can really say, you can write whatever you want. That means nothing to me. That means nothing. You wasted paper, ink, and time on doing that. That's all you've done, right? It wasn't. Sorry, mate, there was a 13.
I think
and
Brad
the
Scott.
only one I can say, the only one I can say was truly wrong was the Draper one. And unfortunately, he copped karma, right? Because you said it yourself against Adelaide. Oh, well, the umpire made the decision. Well, the umpire made the decision, Mark. And yous weren't strong enough. And that's why yous are a crap side. Because if you look at the pictures of your players on the bench, they were soaking it up. They were filling bottles of water from the tears that were coming out of their eyes. And Brad Scott was pulling his hair out because he couldn't believe what a soft side you've got.
Yeah, what a soft umpiring decisions they were. But anyway, move on. Let's go.
Keep blaming them.
Well, at the moment, the only thing it confirms, and I can say it quite confidently, the only thing it really confirms, if you ask me, and Brad Scott probably doesn't want to admit it, but the whole world knows, at the moment, the Essendon Football Club struggles when they're playing a team in the top 8. Simple.
Karma's a bitch, man. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to
That's fair enough.
We'll talk
We're
about
playing
that.
Collingwood, so we'll see how we go.
We'll talk about that.
You say that every week, Mark, like it's a thing. Mate, you reckon that's what your coach says? Oh, well, wait till we play you. He'd be looking back and going, what a fucking shit soft side I've got. That's what he'd be saying. Seriously, he'd be saying, I wish I was back at the AFL. At least I had some people with balls on there.
Tony in the comments made a good point, Rock. Tony Cassidy. Very good comment.
This one?
No, Tony, sorry. Tony.
Injuries
Tony NY. That's it.
There you go.
There you go. See?
Yeah,
There
that's
you
right.
go.
Injuries
Good on you, Tony.
umpires do.
Umpires create issues.
And you had your best 22 on the ground, Marco.
Above the shoulders, mate. That's what's happening.
After the third quarter onslaught of so-called free kicks, Geelong were playing with you, and you still had a final quarter to regroup. You were only like 3 goals down, under 4 goals. You still had a final quarter to regroup and make a comeback. Your boys couldn't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
This is the problem, mate. That you know why? I'll tell you now. I'm picking Collingwood this week because mentally, you guys have worried so much about blaming the world when you don't look within at your problems.
And that's fine. I'll agree with you, Rocco, about the momentum and so forth, but we just haven't been able to control that momentum, and that's what's happening to the Essendon Football Club at the moment. We've been kind of consistent and been in games, but when the teams get that momentum, we haven't been able to stop it. But it doesn't help when the umpires, roll a little bit as well. And I admit that, Rock. I'm not saying that we're a top 4 side, but I do admit that when the teams are getting momentum, we're not controlling it and withholding it. But
there were a couple of bad decisions, Mark, but there weren't 13.
No, there's a lot more than that, Rocco. That's what I believe.
No, the others were 50-50, mate.
No.
Yes, they
I'm
were.
sorry to say, Rock.
Well, hang on. Can I just say that we've spoken about the umpires. The umpires have done the wrong thing. They've come out and they've said they've done the wrong thing, etc., etc., etc. My question to you, Marco, will be that if you think that it's the decision making by the umpires that's been causing you all these losses, because you really haven't lost, because you guys are still in the 8, right? But you've been making excuses every time you guys get thumped, and you got thumped by Geelong. You got thumped by the team that's going to win the premiership for the next 2 seasons. It's a big statement, but I'm a Collingwood supporter, and I can tell you that Carlton are licking their lips the way they're playing at the moment. Why don't you just admit the fact that, you guys aren't as good as what you think they are, and also admit that you don't have the guts to say, you know what, we're not good. We're not good, but you're sitting there making excuses.
I'm not going to say that to you, mate.
And later on, I want to see what you're going to say when I ask you another question.
We'll talk about that later because there's a game to talk about later. But As far as the decisions, I'm telling you, mate, there might have been a couple, but I've always said, mate, I never worry about decisions, man. I might say that was wrong and that, but man, we've had games where it's gone our way, and we've had games where it hasn't gone our way. What do you want to do? We've always said it. This game is a game where it's very, very grey in a lot of areas. You're now picking incidents, and to me, it's just rubbish, man. It's just rubbish. And in actual fact, you look at it like just a support. Oh, that was there. But when you actually look at the rules and that, I'm telling you, you found out, mate. Those holding the balls were there. The deliberate, mate, you could say yes, no, whatever, man. He wasn't under pressure and they called it. So what? Move on, mate. Move fucking on. In actual fact, it's probably better off that they kicked the goal because the ball went back to the centre. Mate, you would have had to bring the ball back from the back, and use one of the worst transitional sides. I would have rather them have kicked the goal and go back to the centre. What did you do straight after that?
Rocco, at the end of the day, it's not about that. At the end of the day, the whole week, everyone has been speaking about these umpire decisions between Essendon and Geelong. So it's not about me. It's about the limelight. It's about talking about the umpiring decisions. So it hasn't just rolled over on a. We played on a Saturday night, and you know we spoke about the umpiring decisions, but it's still going up until Wednesday. So there's obviously issues there. Okay, there's issues there with the umpiring decisions. That's what I'm trying to say.
But on the night, they were correct.
They were bullshit, mate. The third quarter, I'm not saying throughout the whole game, within that third quarter, they made some bullshit decisions on a game of football that should be played freely. That can deflate a team and a side that's got momentum. When they got that momentum and that goes against them, it can affect the club and the team. So that's what happened. And that's why they took the advantage, and they were up a few goals. And by the last quarter, obviously we couldn't control that momentum. I'm honest with that. But the decisions that were made,
and you rather lose by 45 points than lose.
I'd rather lose by 45. I'd rather lose by 100 points, mate. Because at the end of the day, the umpires have already controlled the game. They've already controlled the game, mate. It's finished. I've gone to games. I've watched games of football. If the umpire starts to make an influence of the game at the start of the game, in the middle, or the end of the game, I'll walk away because I can't be bothered with it, mate.
Every team has decisions go. Clinton makes the perfect. Every team has decisions go against them. But to blame him for losing is just ridiculous. It was like 4 decisions. Even if I give you 4 decisions, I've been talked about decisions. We're a decent side, and these 4 decisions wouldn't have mattered. I'm telling you. First of all, the Draper one, he still had to kick it. The one where the holding the ball, mate. The Geelong players still had to kick it, mate. Right, whatever. The rush behind. So what? Is this how you focus on the game?
Yeah, I do, mate. Because the umpires are taking so much influence. I watched the game. I watched the Carlton Richmond game on the Sunday. I think it was in the last quarter, and Carlton already had their points up there. And there was a Richmond player that was running the ball out of defence. He was pressured. He kicks the ball within 30 or 40 metres out towards the wing. He didn't kick it correctly. It smoothed off the side of his boot and went out of bounds. There was 2 players, a Carlton and Richmond player, within 10 metres of that ball. You know what the umpire said? Deliberate out of bounds.
I know, but we've been talking about that all. I don't get why you bring that up. So what?
That's the interpretation of the rule.
I know.
Even the commentary, the viewers, the spectators, one person, one maggot that sits on the bloody field calls it deliberate out of bounds when it was obvious that the player kicked it off his boot.
Yeah, and it's been happening all year.
Under pressure.
It's been happening all year.
Deliberate out of bounds. That's what I'm saying, mate. The interpretation.
But it doesn't matter. We've been talking about. We've been talking about the deliberate out of bounds all year, and we admit that it's the wrong way because the umpire has to make a call. We admit it. Why are you bringing it up for? Sometimes it goes our way, and sometimes it doesn't. So
90,000
what?
spectators and commentary are saying that's not deliberate. So how can one person make that call? That's what I can't understand.
That's what they got to do.
Okay, well that's the different of the way the interpretation of this game is. It's changing ridiculously stupid, mate. Regardless if you're 10 goals up or you're 1 point down, the umpires are crucially making bad mistakes on umpiring decisions, and it's affecting games of football.
They are.
If we're going to talk about umpiring, Richmond's been bottom of the free kick ladder for like the last 7 years in a row, and comprehensively on the bottom of that free kick ladder. But you can't turn it out every week and be like, oh, well, that's why we lost. We lost the free kick count again. That's why we lost.
No, I'm not referring to that, Quinn. I'm just referring to that decision that the umpire made that, to me, clearly wasn't deliberate out of bounds. The 4
or 5 times a game, Mark. It happens, and sometimes it goes.
It happened against Essendon twice. It happened twice in the back line where 2 Geelong players kicked the ball and it went straight out of bounds, and the umpire goes throw it in.
There probably was a play around.
Oh, well, that's my point. What I was just saying, there was 2 players 10 meters away from the ball where that Richmond player kicked out of bounds, and they still called it fucking deliberate.
They get that wrong. Sometimes they get it wrong, mate. Like, I don't know why you're bringing that up for. We've discussed
because that's another 2 decisions that they made within the 13 minutes.
Or what about the one Essendon got when Geelong kicked it and they paid a deliberate out of bounds, and Essendon got the free kick?
Why don't you talk about that one?
One.
Oh, yeah, but I'll give you one. What about your 2 meter fucking fake Peter there, right? When he took that mark in the goal square, he juggled it and he dropped it. It wasn't a mark. It was no way. No, it wasn't. He had no control over that ball. Zero control over that ball. Zero control over that ball. He had no, and they paid it a mark. And he kicked the goal. Why aren't you talking about that one?
It was a mark. He marked the ball.
No,
the player tapped
no, he never had control. He never had control of it.
He had control of the
I
ball.
looked at that 5 times. He never had control.
He had control, full control.
No, he never. Sorry. Why don't you talking about that?
That's number 11 out of the 13. Do you want to go another one?
You still haven't given me one except for the Draper one.
No, I'll give you 11 already.
None of them. Everyone on the chat, everyone here, all disagrees with every single one of them. I've shown you. You know what's funny about? You know what's funny about you? I actually show you the rules. I actually do research and show you the rules, and you sit there and still disagree with it.
Yeah. I'll give you another one.
Before you give me another one, can you just have you noticed Mark doesn't listen to you? All he's doing now is he's waiting for his turn to talk because he doesn't want to engage in a conversation. He wants to just say what he wants to say.
Well, that's what I believe. This is what I
just spoke to you, and the first thing you said was, and there was another one.
Well, if you want me to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. But if you want to move on, we'll move on.
Tell me this other one that is a clear wrong decision. Which one?
Well, it's the interpretation of it. But anyway.
Oh, now it's the interpretation.
So on the wing, Myers, a Geelong player, got tackled and it was holding the ball. Umpire, good call, holding the ball. As the ball popped out, Dangerfield grabs it. Within 7 to 8 seconds, he keeps running. The umpire goes, free kick Essendon, keeps going, hesitates. As he's still running with the ball, Dangerfield, while the game is being stopped, hesitates, and then hand passes to another Geelong player. All right? So that's within 10 seconds of the Essendon player tackling the Geelong player for holding the ball. Now, what would you call that?
I just call that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
What do you call that?
I call that the most waste of time of 30 seconds of speaking that I've ever heard in my life.
That's 10 seconds of wasting time of football, which means it should have been a 50-meter penalty. That was in the wing.
Why?
Okay.
You said that the Geelong player got a free kick, correct?
No. Essendon tackled the player,
Yeah.
holding the ball. The
Hello?
umpire's blown the whistle.
Hello? Hey, listen, can you get me something hard to drink? Because I'm telling you, mate, even bring a baseball bat. Bring a baseball bat. Get somebody with a baseball bat. Head. I'm telling you. I'm
waiting for the umpire.
I've got some bloke that's delusional. What do we call him?
Hesitated and
delusional.
To another player.
Thank you.
It's a 50-meter penalty. That's a 50-meter penalty.
You're in denial, mate. You just need to move on. You just need to move on.
You know what? I'm happy to move on.
You can't make excuses.
You can't make excuses. An example of the 50-meter rule, the 50-meter penalty rule. That's a 50-meter penalty. That is 50 meters. That ball should get 50 meters. Judge your field. You pass it on to your player. We're in the wing. We've got the ball sent half forward now. But no. Bring the ball back. Interpretation of the game again. It's all over, mate. It's all over. That's number 12. We want to keep on going, but keep going. We'll go to the next game.
Anyway, what's next? What's next?
I still haven't found one. Anyway, we will move on. The funny thing is, since the weekend
Hallelujah.
What are you talking about? You know this AFL. What else? Have you got something to talk about, Matty?
Oh, I'm just glad we're moving on from this because.
Have you got something to talk about?
Well, we could probably talk about sometimes how they sit there. For example, I think it was Jordan Boyd was that thing 4 hours in the tribunal. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the replay, but either they must be dead bored with themselves or they've got to justify their positions. I just don't understand. They needed 4 hours to sit there and deliberate to come but that's what I'm saying. So, at the moment, this is the thing, right? The AFL wants to be sponsoring and wants to be supporting this and wants to be sponsoring and supporting this and wants to, and support this. But then all of a sudden, they, as soon as they get it all wrong, it's, let's make excuses. Let's sit there and it's just bullshit. It's like sometimes you think to yourself, maybe they need a revamp. Maybe they need to get everybody out of there, right? And put someone who's got no idea, right? And they start fresh. Because if they don't know, they'll learn and then they'll start changing it, or maybe, I don't know. Because these people, there are too many, what do they say? Too many cooks spoil the broth.
Look, I was doing the jumper punch last night, so we were keeping tabs of it. 4 hours, it actually almost went longer than the Judd one a few years ago. Like, I just didn't get it. But I don't know, man. I don't know what happens at the tribunal, because what happens is they make it and then they bring in their lawyers and then they start showing bloody movement fucking people come in and all that kind of shit. So I don't know, whatever. I don't really care about that. But yeah, it's a bit too long. It doesn't bother me.
I think the problem with it is that, I mean, the fact that ended up at the tribunal to begin with, I think is a problem. But again, he got off, so he should. No dramas. But the fact that, they've wasted 4 hours. They've gone to the tribunal to begin with. That decision should not have gone to the tribunal.
I don't believe that was reportable, man. You could see that the Richmond player, like when he seen him coming, he put his head down. And then if you look at it after that, after he kicked the ball, they went up to each other. He almost apologized to him for ducking his head, and Boyd fucking apologized. It was just, I don't know, but I knew that he was going to get reported. As soon as I seen it, I thought he'll get reported for this, like, because that's what they do, right? But if they would have kept a week, I would have lived with it too. It's one of those things, man. Like if they If you get them high, you don't know what they're going to do. But
I don't know. I think that one would have. I'm not even a Carlton supporter. That one would have bothered me seeing him not get off, just because it happened right in front of where I was as well. You see it. Mansell looks up. He sees the oncoming. He does this to protect himself, and he gets cleaned up. Right? I don't mind a free kick being. Obviously, it went our way, so of course I'm not going to mind it. But pay a free kick, no problem. But the fact that went to the tribunal, like, what was Boyd supposed to do? Like, he wasn't careless. He wasn't reckless. Mansell has ducked into him. Gave him no choice. So, yeah.
He should be reported for sexual harassment. He got him in the bloody groin there, man. He was like having a bit of a look down there. Yeah, so anyway, that's right. But we'll talk about our game too. All right. Is there anything else? Because we can move on to the games. I think we've exhausted that rubbish that we just talked about. I hope I've educated everyone on the deliberate and that from now on. You can see. Before we move on, I gave Mark and that like a whole week, and he came up with a couple of pages of rubbish there while I put together videos. I actually had to look through to find the actual rules to make sure that I understood it before I come on. But you come on with a bit of we got hugged up by. So anyway, that's what Essendon supporters do. So we'll move on. All right, let's go. I reckon it's time we go into. No, you're doing well, mate. You're doing well, man. There was a comment before there that really got. There was a comment. Oh, it's way up because the chat's going. First of all, fantastic. Everyone, 78 people, 79 people watching. I hope you're entertained. Can you push the like button and subscribe? Right. So we got make sure you subscribe, and we'll keep getting this rubbish out to you. I forget what I was going to say. And there was a comment there that I forget who wrote it, but it's North Melbourne and Essendon are the only teams who haven't beaten the top 8 sides. So I don't know if that means anything, but we'll talk more about that in a sec. Let's go into well. You want to just go straight into this one here. The Suns, 101 to Collingwood.
Oh, Collingwood.
Wow.
What can I say? Before you keep going on, I remember Marco used to say to me, Carl, one quarter team. They're just a one quarter team. It looks like both of your sides are one quarter teams because you barely pay a quarter, Mark. And Magpie Manny, mate, I think there was a stat out of the last 66 games, man. Collingwood have been trailing at 3/4 time in like about 30 of them. And so
they're literally punishing themselves.
One quarter side.
Yeah, no, look, they've been punishing themselves. Why are they doing it? I've got no idea. To sit there and let, like first and second quarter, then to try and play some decent football in the into the third quarter. And then, but you're right. We've been playing 1 quarter football at the moment. So do we put it down to the fact that the team at the moment, there's a lot of inconsistency, a lot of injuries in and out, a lot of young players that are coming in. And I think at the moment, the one thing that's really, really, really affecting us is our defence. Darcy Moore, was at the moment, he just seems lost. He's, I think ever since we lost Nathan Murphy, I think he's just, I feel that he just seems to be lost. He's trying to play that being, the intercepting defender, but at the moment it's not working for him. He's been out of position so many times. And you know what? If your defense at the moment is not going to be strong enough to be able to, allowing 69, I think it was 69 or 68 inside 50s. We're lucky. We're lucky that we didn't lose by more. Now,
you're lucky I don't know whether players there that lift at certain times.
Well, Billy Frampton at the moment, he seems to be, hot and cold. Quaynor is still, he's a superstar. He's still doing the best he can. But, you've got match fitness. Pendlebury came back. He's lacking match fitness. You got that came back, Mohacek. So, at the moment, we're hovering where we're hovering. There are some underlying issues. The defence needs to lift its game. But, having said that, Nick Dacos, he's an absolute superstar.
And you know what? Let's be honest. He is a good player, Dacos. But the problem is, mate, again, he does that couple of good things at the end, and everyone jumps up and down like he's this great player. Sam Walsh does that every week. But he does it for 4 quarters. Dacos doesn't do it for 4 quarters. And that's my issue with him, right? Yeah. The other thing is with Darcy Moore, seriously, he's an intercept marker, and he can't even do that anymore. I think he's he's in really bad form, right? And I actually think he's now become a sniper.
Well, I was actually going to bring up, because somebody said to me last week, hey, Matty, I've noticed that Darcy Moore at the moment, apart from the fact that he's not performing at his best, what's with every time he goes behind to punch a ball or to mark a contested mark, his knee in players' backs?
He's deliberately doing it. I'm telling you. I
don't know whether it's now. I don't know whether it's deliberate. I think it's just the way he tries to gain momentum, to lift himself up. I really don't know. But there's no excuses there at the moment. We've got to come back this week, and we've really got to smack Essendon hard. There's no ifs or buts about it.
We'll talk about that, but I do believe. I think Moore has to be spoken to. He's put out Wicks. He did his spleen. You know how hard it is to fucking wreck your spleen.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But that's not intentional, though. Come on, it wasn't intentional.
I think he's putting up his knee intentionally to hurt somebody.
No, I don't think so. No.
It's very old school football, isn't it? Like when the old key forwards, you'd always jump knee first, and it's a natural, like it's almost natural to jump with your knee because you get that bounding momentum as well. But I feel like there's that little extra oomph right in it just to make them feel it. And I think if what happened to Petrarca didn't happen, and now what happened to Witts didn't happen on the weekend, it wouldn't be getting spoken about. But I think a lot of players would jump, and you want your opponent to feel it. You want them to know that they're there. Like, Rock, I'm sure for you, if Wiedering's gone jumping through a pack, you want him to make sure that the forwards he's running into knows that he's there. Yeah, you want him to know he's there. I think it was just he's just been stiff that 2 blokes have now done spleens from the hit.
Yeah, no, it's tough. But the other thing is, I just think sometimes he's in bad form. And I think sometimes when you're in bad form, what you tend to do, right, you tend to do those sort of things. You tend to put up your knee. You tend to do those things. You tend to hurt a player because you can't get the ball yourself. And I think that's what's happening with him at the moment. I think and this might sound like a joke, he should seriously stop worrying about trying to be fucking Australian of the Year with his speeches and start fucking leading his team, mate. Because the other thing he does, Manny, he never goes on the best player. He doesn't take it on.
Well,
mate, that's your captain.
He's got a career high in spoils at the moment.
Why isn't he on kick?
He's got a career high in spoils at the moment. Look, the reality is that he was used to being that free intercepting marks player. When you've got a structure and all of a sudden you lose a major, like I said, Nathan Murphy has been huge. It's now time for us to change, restructure, and make things better for us, because at the moment it's not looking pretty. But having said all that, Gold Coast have won, I think, every single game
at home. They're tough at home.
So
it doesn't matter. You were 3/4 time. You're playing shit, and you play 1 quarter. You hit the front. Are there concerns for Collingwood? Let's have a look. In the last 6 weeks, points against, they're 13th in the competition. Contested possessions differential, 14th in the competition. Inside 50, 16th in the comp, mate.
Yeah.
Forget about them winning at home. Forget about that. You've got some serious concerns, mate.
Oh, look,
Your captain's not up to the standard, right?
No.
He's absolutely not playing on the best players which he should, right? You're coming in, you're relying on the Dacos boys, the Goey comes in. Mate, you've got some serious issues. And the only lucky thing you've got is that you're playing a shit side this week.
Well, this is going to be I think this is going to be a true test to whether and I'm not afraid to say that if we don't beat the Bombers, maybe we don't deserve to be playing finals football at the moment.
I think the ones who lose this week you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless and having said that, Collingwood's got a pretty tough run home.
So is Essendon. If Essendon lose, if results go a certain way, they'll just hold on to 8th spot.
Who's at the Bombers?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Rocco?
You're the same.
You know what, Rocco? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Wait. We'll talk about your game later. We'll talk about the Essendon Collingwood game.
All right. Okay.
Let's go into the next one. We got to wow. We already talked about it. But 18-9 at the end of the day, 18-9, 27 scoring shots, 105 to 9-6, 15 scoring shots to 60. You kicked 2 goals after halftime. Merritt probably just really disappointing. He had like 10 or 12 possessions. He had like 6 turnovers. He got tagged again. He can't seem to hold the tag. You got Stringer, mate. Stringer, really, you call him the package. I call him Australian Post because he really delivers, mate. The bloke is absolutely seriously. He's a flat track bully, Stringer, mate. If you look at his scores, he scores big scores against West Coast, Richmond, 4s and 5s, St Kilda and all that.
If he's the package, what do you call Curnow? What would you call Curnow? If he's the package, what would you call someone like Curnow? Curnow takes, mate. I tell you what. You know what? I'm a Collingwood supporter. I love the Magpies. We've done so well, whatever. But can I tell you, sometimes you like to watch certain games, right, just to see certain players. And I can tell you, I love watching Curnow. Right, that kid.
But anyway,
hang on. He takes 2 steps and he kicks 60 meters.
He's got a great booter like that, but let's not. We'll move on because it is the Essendon Geelong.
Yeah, I know, but you said about Stringer being the package. So if Stringer's the package, what would you call someone like Curnow?
That's what they call him. They call him the package. To me, he doesn't deliver when he has to. He only delivers against the flat bully. He's a flat bully when it comes to the big side against Carlton, against Geelong.
And when he scores.
And then he only scores 1 or 2 goals. Truthfully, Mark, against Geelong, he kicked 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. One was over the top, so it was a bit of a fucking gimme goal. After that, he wasn't seen for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that's you got a point there, Rocco. But obviously, these players are the type of players that might produce when it comes to the main. Time of the season. So, but anyway, in the game against Geelong, obviously, I think we made a couple of wrong decisions. I think we shouldn't have gone in with 2 ruckmen. I think we should have just held on to the one ruckman. 2 ruckmen on a Saturday night in wet and windy conditions probably wasn't appropriate. So I think it was a bit of a coaching decision there. We should have brought in maybe a caddy or a Hobbs into that side. Look, I'm not going to dwell too much into the game, but I think the last 4 games we've actually gone inside 50 more than any other team, but we haven't been able to convert inside those 50s, and that's a downfall. But it's also a good fall because if we can keep on doing that and keep on getting the ball inside our 50, we might be able to start converting, and it could be a little bit dangerous. So Obviously, after the third quarter, we're a goal up, and those umpiring decisions deflated the team, and they just couldn't get their mojo going, and Geelong obviously got their mojo going and finished off the game, and we couldn't hold on and continue to fight. So there wasn't really much to say about the game. 45 points, obviously a big loss, but I still believe umpiring decisions can cost games mentally, not physically, and we'll be bigger and better for it. And hopefully this week we'll keep going inside 50 and we'll convert.
Yeah.
Well, you better hope so, because your converting's being bad. Your transitional game is pretty shit. You do get the ball a lot in your 50. I do admit that. But your delivery, like I said, when you played us, you were going, oh, we got the ball so many times. Shallow. You're getting it very deep into, like very shallow into the 50. You're kicking them to the boundary. They're not getting good runs of the ball. So your delivery inside 50 is absolutely shy.
But it's continual. We're continually doing that every week, so it's not a one-off thing that we're bringing our ball inside the 50. It's something that we're doing continuously. We just need to start converting from there. So it's a good thing, even though it's a bad thing that we're not converting out of it. But if we keep doing that, hopefully we can start converting. And like you're saying, at the end of the day, guys, games can change. We start converting, and all of a sudden we're a dangerous team, and the back line starts to get a bit pressured. So,
but let's just quickly
disappointing. But just to know that we were a goal up at halftime, a few umpiring decisions in the third quarter. I think that's what it settled the game, and unfortunately we couldn't get that momentum going. So, kudos to the Bombers. We're still sitting fourth. We're still sitting fourth on the ladder, which is a good thing. We're still sitting top four. So, and we just got to keep fighting and see how we go.
These are the facts. These are the facts. This is the
world's smallest violin.
These are the unfortunate facts, man, and that you still don't want to get around your head. These are your wins. These are your wins. 13, 15, 8. Western Bulldogs was right at the start of the year, all right? Then you got 14, 16, 19 WS, and you can see they've lost 7 out of their last 8 or something, so they're not travelling well. Yeah. And 18, you played West Coast twice. They're the facts. They're the facts.
That's fine, Rocco. That's fine. And we're beating those teams. So all you need is just a bit of a spark. All you need is to beat a team in the top 8, and that can change the whole. There's still another 8 rounds of football to go. Yeah. So all we need to do is go out there and fight against Collingwood this week. If we beat Collingwood this week, the next 4 or 5 games we could be momentum.
Is it fair to say? Is it fair to say that the
top 8 side you can't do it, Mark?
Hang on. Is it fair to say?
But you might, Carlton all of a sudden, everyone loves Carlton and they're the best team.
We're talking about you. I'm saying,
is it fair to say
that all we need to do is
that the AFL
beat one of those teams? Once we beat those teams, it's a mental thing. Remember, I was talking to you 5 minutes ago. It's about the mental thing. It's above the shoulders. If we can beat some of these teams, which this week we're playing against Collingwood, we've got Melbourne.
Forget about
the momentum of our season. So just let it go and just see and wait.
I reckon the AFL's turned around and said, right, this is what they've said, right? Before the season started, before they got everything ready. This is what they would have said. They would have turned around and gone, all right, listen, guys, what we want to do this year is we want to try and make a shit team like Essendon, try and get their memberships, try and get them up and running again. We need them to a kickstart. Let's make sure that they're going to be playing all the soft sides, all the sides that we know at the moment are struggling, because we want them up there, right? But the problem is now they're not anticipating that shit. You know what? You got teams like Hawthorn that are on the improve. You got teams like GWS, you never thought the GWS was going to be up there. Now you got to play Collingwood. You got done by Carlton. You got done by Geelong. It's, so you know what they're saying to themselves right now? Hey, boys, we fucked up. We fucked up. We don't know why we chose the Bubbles.
At the end of the day, I did get a camera into the Essendon, bloody, what do you call it, the hangar there, and we've got a little bit of this going on.
Oh, no. No.
They realise they can't beat it, but we also did get a photo. And look, we got a photo. People, listen. Everyone loves their dogs, right? So I've got 2 dogs. Everyone's got dogs here. I think we love our dogs. So if you got a picture of your dog, send it in. We'll put it up. This was sent by one of our viewers.
Come on, give me a bud.
One of our viewers sent this in. So, beautiful dog. Let's have a look at him.
Wow. Well, there you go.
If people have got pictures of their dogs, just send them through and we'll show them up.
Yeah, that's fine. I enjoy it. Don't speak too soon, Rocco, mate. You still got plenty of football to go.
I'm just saying, mate. What you trying to say? That's not a good-looking dog. What do you reckon, Quinn? That was a good-looking dog. I think that was
beautiful,
gorgeous dog.
Vizsla. Yeah. I would personally go to the vet because it looks like it's shitting a bit of blood there, but I would probably go. All right, let's go into the next game here. What game did we have next here?
Our game.
11-131. Look, at the end of the day, what can you say? It was pretty standard. It was always going to happen, wasn't it? I think I'll quickly just talk about it, and then you can have your say. But at the end of the day, I actually think you did well for about a quarter and a half. I actually sat there and going, you're bloody defending the ground pretty well, man. We were finding it hard to get it out at a few stages. So the actual fact, you actually defended the ground pretty well, but it always felt like the onslaught was just around the corner, and it did. It came. So in the third quarter, instead of like Essendon sooking about free kicks, we go on and kick 7 goals in like 7 or 8 minutes to finish it off. Just a few score. I know you don't want to know, but this might help you, Quinny, just to understand, man. They reckon that the way we score our goals, from turnovers was 60, as you can see, was 96 points. You know what I mean? So that's a lot. From the forward half, 76. These are all plus 38. So it was a massive game. And the defensive half, 42. They reckon we can't, when we put Pitternet in there, we can't do the turnover game and that, but it was one of our biggest turnover games. So we actually got it right. And one more thing I'll say is Miller and Blight, is it?
Yeah.
Done a very good job. I think actually Curnow got beaten by Miller, wasn't it?
Yeah, Miller played on Curnow. Yeah.
Blight mainly played. I think McKay did an okay game. It wasn't great, but they still kicked 4 goals, you know what I mean? But the good thing about Carlton, we had well, I'll show you this. We had 11 different goal scores, and you can see in the last 6 weeks, 9, 9, 10, 12, 11. So we're sharing the load. They only kicked 4 goals, the big boys, and we still ended up. I remember Mark going, if Curnow and Bing don't kick 8 goals, well, they're just showing that we're starting to spread the load now. It's starting to slowly build, So
was that a first game? Was that his first game? That bloke who was on Curnow, I think, or
yeah, the guy that played on Harry was a debut game. Yeah.
The one that played on Harry.
Mid-season pick.
Wow.
Yeah. So, obviously, I had a few things on that one as well. I was similar to what you said, Rock. At halftime, I was walking around and grabbing a beer, and I bumped into a mate of mine that's a Blues supporter, and we were chatting about the game, and I just said to him, I said, you can just feel, like you said, you could feel that the momentum was just about to swing. Like we were just holding on, but it was the damn wall was about to break. And that's what ended up happening in the third quarter. But I think the one thing we really struggled with, and we did this in round one against you guys as well, where we really competed in the middle and the clearances and all that. We broke even in the center and stoppage clearances throughout the game. We're plus 23 in the hit outs as well. Our issue is we're not dangerous or damaging enough with those hit outs and those clearances, and we're not getting them into advantage enough. And that's where we really struggle as well. And then, I know you said we defended the ground quite well. I think we did early, but once that damn wall broke, we couldn't stop your run. And like you said, Carlton have a good way of finding multiple ways to score. They don't just do it through clear. They do it, on the outside. It's not all inside footy anymore. And that's what we really struggled. That's what we struggled to do. So, and I did want to touch on the two young guys as well, because Ben Miller, I thought, like you said, he already touched on it. Did a great job on Charlie, I thought, for a bloke that's only, where he is in his career. I thought he did quite well. And then for Jacob Blight, mid-season draft, to come in and play a role on Harry. And I know Harry still kicked two on him. One was that one that was probably a touch that got missed. And, like Mark said, the whole momentum, we were going to win that game if they had paid that one.
The touch.
Quinn, did Dusty? I think Dusty ended up with a sore back.
Yeah,
and obviously the cold weather doesn't help. So maybe in order to improve his back, he may be thinking about taking a trip up to maybe Gold Coast. Who knows? But time will tell.
Go for the warm weather. Yeah, no, he looked cooked. In all fairness, I watched the replay the next day, and him coming off the bench, he didn't look good. So we'll see how he goes. He's still a test technically for this weekend. He won't play, I wouldn't imagine, but I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, look, we're just way too strong. We're way too strong. We're a better side, and you can see like Cribs. I reckon he's having a better year than his Brownlow year. He's an absolute beast, mate. When he starts getting through that middle, you can't stop him. Walsh is the Batman. They're the Batman and Robin. He's the Robin. You could see once, and Chera coming back in. He only played 3 quarters, got 23 possessions, and then they rested him. They brought Hewitt on. Kennedy looked like it was a bad knee, but he's a test for this week. So all good with his knee. I don't think they'll play him. I think they'll just rest him, which is good. Look, Orazio Fantasia. 4 goals, mate.
Of course, we played him in the form.
Jeez, it's a good. If you're a Carlton supporter at the moment, it's a good feeling. Yeah, you got players that are coming in. You got a lot of injuries that are now slowly, mending. It's you now got players that are fighting to play in the side. So it's a fantastic.
We can't get some of these players in. You got Chicoto. I remember Marco saying, Chicoto, again, another 2 goals, does a job again, you know what I mean? The bloke is a good player, man. He's a mature age that come in, earned his spot and doing well. The thing is, and you're right, and, mate, there's still a long way to go, mate, and I know that, man. So we've still got a job to do, but we're playing well. Yeah, of course, mate, of course. What do you want me to cry?
No, you should be happy, mate. Listen,
we're playing a good game. We're playing a good brand. We're not only winning it from clearances. We're winning it from turnover. We're winning it from the back. And this is the whole point. Now we got players like Martin, Motlop, and I mean TDK. We rested. We've got a few others there that you can say, I think are going to struggle to get back into the side, which is good, man.
Oh, Salamio. You're a happy place at Carlton, mate. Happy place at Carlton.
Can I finish my
Keep going.
Well, before you start bragging, Rocco, and we love you.
Wait a second. Can I finish my thing?
Go on.
You're right.
Yeah, go on.
All right, far out. You actually made a statement. I'm trying to discuss it, and you trying to be a fucking clown right now.
No, we all know it, mate. There's no statement. We all know that at the moment, Carlton's playing.
There are people here that want to hear it, man. It's not about you now at the moment.
People want to hear it. People know, Rocco.
Carlton and Richmond.
Yeah, but did I let you talk?
Yes, you did.
All right, then shut up, far out. And then you go to me, all you say is shut up because you're an idiot. All right. So all I was saying is, what's the good thing about you got to keep a healthy list, man. And you know this, Quinny, right? When you win in premiership, it's got to be healthy. At the moment, we're healthy. As I said, there are players there that who would at the start of the year, Marchbank, Martin, Motlop, you saying they're in our best 22. Now we're saying, I don't think they'll come back in. There's no way they'll come back in. So that makes us a good play. But at the end of the day, you know what, Queenie? I didn't even feel sorry. I just went, like, well done, Richmond. You kept up with us for 2 quarters. Well done, But I have to admit, your 2 backmen, I was quite impressed.
Yeah, I'd say there was 2 things that I took out of the game that I was happy with, and it was the 2 backmen, the performances of them, and then I guess in saying that the future that we've got coming on, because we've got another one, Josh Gibcus, that'll come back next year. The backline's looking bright, so I'm happy with that. That was a big upside for me. And the other one, and it's only because it's the only player from Carlton that I hate with an absolute passion, and it's Matt Owies. And I saw Tom Brown sit in his head when he took that hanger on the wing. And that was the only other thing that made me happy during that game because I can't stand Owies. But no, other than that, like you said, it was the result that I predicted last week, and I think pretty much just about everybody else would have thought was going to happen. So nothing unusual there. And just one last thing on the Tigers as well, because I want to keep giving updates. We've now used, I believe it's 42 or 43 of our players on the list that we've got. We've used over 42 players at the moment. So that's not using that as excuse for the game, but just an update throughout the year because it just keeps getting worse because we've copped another injury on the weekend as well. So
yeah, nah, he's a guy. It's done for you.
We need the. Like I said, I think the high performance team needs to be looked at this point because we've had a guy come in mid-season debut. He kicked 4 in the VFL and he would have played next week. And he did a severe hamstring. He's now out for 8 weeks.
Yeah, I did mention that a couple of weeks ago, Quinn, about your performance. And I said you need to make some changes right now. You need to inquire about it and make some changes because too many injuries, mate. Too many injuries for the Richmond Football Club.
It's a funny discussion, like the high performance, because we had that discussion at the start of the year with Carlton. We were getting a lot of soft injuries. They trained them really hard. How much do we really know about high performance? I've spoken to Paolo about this. How much do we really know about it? What they've got to do? How do they got to do it? People were saying that we were training our players way too hard to start and they were getting injured, right? But now we ask the question, do you need to get them to that point? You need to bring them to their peak because you can't get them like underneath that. You need to get them to that peak to see where they're at. And sometimes, they might fall over. But now when you look at this part of the season for us, now they're all coming back. So we were bagging him at the start and now we're praising him. So I don't know what's happening with your high performance and why they're getting injured. You know what I mean? They're not all like hamstrings and that, some of them you can't help. So you can't help. But it's an interesting.
We've got 5 ACLs.
It's I don't know. There's got to be 5 ACL. So how is that their fault? I don't know. Is it their fault? No. Is it the whole? Yeah. So
the ACLs certainly aren't. It's the soft tissue ones or the ones where Tom Lynch comes back from a hamstring and then he does another hamstring the same week. You know what I mean? Or Prestia does a hamstring every 3 weeks that he plays. Like he wasn't there on the weekend as well. Like it's a few of these ones that I think I don't know if it's a high-performance team. It might just be the easy finger to point. The ACLs, you can't blame on anyone. They're just unlucky. Like, that could happen to anyone. There must be something in the water at Richmond at the moment. The plumbing system at Punt Road is no good.
And you could have a bit of bad luck. But I'll ask you one question. Maybe I could have asked you this at the end. I'll ask you one question. Is it sometimes up to the players to tell when they can feel something? They've got to know their body, especially the older players. You know what I mean? So I remember Wiedering during the year said, no, he can feel something. And like they told him straight away, where a young player might not say something because they don't want to miss out a game, and then that causes. So that's the other thing. Like, do we really, are the players doing their job? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's something I would like to know more about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't think we kind of had this conversation. Oh, which is better than dust. I had this conversation the other week. We spoke about it with the Petrarca one when he went off with the spleen and the punctured lung and everything like that. And we were saying, should the medical team have pulled him off? And then we all said, well, Petrarca's the type of player that's just going to go, nah, I'm ready to go. Put me out there, put me out there, put me out there. And we did say that most AFL players, they're at that level. They've all got that mentality where they just want to play regardless. So I think these guys here are honestly they must just be going, and it's stupid. I'm not condoning it, but I think their mentality must just be, oh, it's not too bad. I'll be all right. Put me out there. And then they do it again. Oh, put me out there. Then they do it again. I think there's being brave and then there's being stupid. And I don't know, maybe blokes like Prestia that are doing it every 4 weeks might be, on the edge of stupid. So I'm not too sure. Like you said, I don't know enough about the high performance side of things. I'd love to. Maybe it's something down the track, but yeah, I don't know enough about it to point a finger.
It's interesting, man, because it's almost a no-win for that high performance guy, man. Like, man, he's trying to get players out there. He's got to rely on them. Then he's got pressure from coaches and that talking about, getting players out there. And anyway, you are a little bit. Mark just disappears every once in a while, just like his team. So I don't know what's going on there. But
it's the third quarter.
Well, I wanted to wait, but what we can do is we'll do your segment, Manny, and this is let's have a look at this.
All right. Well, Sydney's sitting pretty on top, but having said that, Fremantle shook them up, and they're sitting pretty in the third position. But Carlton, mate, there's a team at the moment, mate, the team of superstars, and they're quietly knocking on a premiership door. Knock, knock, knocking on premiership door. And, of course, the Bombers at the moment, what can you say about the Bombers? If they lose this game, they will probably still hang in the 8. They'll probably still hang in the 8, maybe just. But having said that, the Magpies are in the same picture as the Bombers, and of course all we can say is that there's no Fighty Fury from Tigerland at the moment. They just should be sitting there and worrying about making themselves some pina coladas and cocktails. Thank you, sir.
You're getting better every week, Manny, I've got to say.
I did ask him to improve that, and he's actually done well. As you can see, just quickly, of course, Carlton, nice percentage. The funny thing is, Essendon on 99%, they got the worst percentage in the top 12 teams, 99%. So, mate, wow. I've always said, I always look at, you might say, and then you were going, doesn't matter percentage if it's a draw, but now you got like 4 sides, and they're all fighting for that thing. So I think now it's going to cost you. Fremantle is one of those teams. Collingwood, and who else is there? There's another team there too. That's also drew. Who else did drew? You drew. Who did Collingwood draw with? Essendon, and who else?
And the Fremantle Dockers.
Fremantle Dockers, yeah.
So anyway,
it's been a year of the draws, hasn't it? It's been a year of the draws, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't expect that.
And there's almost been a few more draws. So anyway,
year of the draws. Good
Blues are nicely sitting 6 points clear of third spot, and I think that we're going to go through now next week's games. I think this week's games for a couple of people sitting there at the bottom where you deserve is going to be huge, and it's season defying. You might laugh as much as you want, but I'm telling you. Yeah. I believe almost. I think Collingwood have got a little bit better chance, but I think Essendon lose this and they're done. So let's go into it. So what we're going to do, Queenie, right? We're going to do Collingwood last.
All right.
So we'll start with North and the Suns, man. So, yep, that's the first one,
Beautiful.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we head to Marvel Stadium on Saturday afternoon, the 1:45 time slot, where North Melbourne take on the Gold Coast Suns. And North, I don't know, they just pick and choose when they want to be competitive and give a team a run. Gold Coast don't win away from home. This is actually a tough one to pick.
I think it is, only because the Suns can't win down here. But, sorry, guys. I'll go first. I still think the Suns. I think North have had their little run during the year. I think the Suns will win this one.
Yeah. Well, I'm at that point where I'm behind, so I've got to start making a few risks to catch back up. So I'm going to go North because I don't know. Damien Hardwick hates Marvel Stadium. And I don't think that's changed.
He does. Manny?
Yeah, no, North Melbourne for me.
Wow. Mark?
You have got a good point there, Quinn, about North, but I think North have had their chances the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they probably should have won a couple of games out of that. But I think Gold Coast, if they're going to be contenders, I think they'll win. Just Gold Coast for me.
Nice. Next one. Oh, this one's another interesting one.
It is another interesting one. And just quickly, Arosh in the comments just pointed out Richmond have won more away games this year than Gold Coast, which is 1.
I love it.
But yes, another interesting one. Saturday, 1:45 as well, Adelaide Oval. Port take on the Bulldogs. And if you asked me 6 weeks ago, I would have gone Port without blinking because they don't lose at home too often. But geez, both teams are desperate to win this, aren't they?
Yes. And I think Western Bulldogs are definitely playing a better brand of footy, and I think they're a top 8 side. I think they're one of the sides that are going to take the Essendon spot. But Port Adelaide, yeah, they got their win, but far out. They won by 2 or 3 points over St Kilda, who are absolutely listen, I know this is the forever rivals. St Kilda are the most irrelevant side in the fucking history of this game, mate. They are shit. And they just got over them. And the Port coach there started crying, and it must have been an emotional week. But I'm going Western Bulldogs. I'm going
the Doggies as well. Got them right here, ready to go. Bulldogs for me.
Can I ask where are they playing?
Port.
Adelaide Oval.
I'm going to go for Port.
Yeah, I think the emotional speech by the coach there above the shoulders is going to take a toll. So I think Port will come out firing this week, and they will beat the Bulldogs.
All right. There you go. They better, because I'm telling you, I don't think they don't make finals. I know he said they're only 2 points from top 4, but they've lost like 6 out of their last 7 or something. And
it's at home. So I think they'll build it for their supporters this week.
We got another big rivalry game. This is another interesting game.
This could be one of the hardest weeks of tipping we've had in a while, at least to start with, because this is tricky. Yeah, we've got Geelong at GMHBA taking on the Hawks, who are flying at the moment. They can't seem to lose a game. So, I don't know. Geelong coming off a big win. Is that a confidence builder at home? I've always said I don't think Hawthorn can hold on to this momentum for too long just because they are a young team. So, I'm going to go Geelong at home.
Is that the MCG, Quinn, or is it at
GMHBA.
GMHBA.
Yeah.
I think Geelong will bounce back again, and they'll beat Hawthorn. Like you were saying, Quinn, I think Hawthorn have had their run, but Geelong for me.
Hawthorn are one of the most informed sides of the competition. Right? They remind me a lot of Carlton last year when they made their run at the end of the year. So they look good, and Mitchell's a good coach, but look, I know Geelong didn't really beat anyone this week. They only beat Essendon. But I think at home, I'm going Geelong.
Hawthorn for me.
Oh, Hawthorn. All right. We got a few changes. All right. Next one. Oh, we got the fucking blockbuster here, mate.
I'll let you pop it up, Rock.
S Giants v Carlton, Saturday the 6th at NG Stadium. This is pretty simple for me. You know, I'm going Carlton. They've also lost 6. And the other thing is, Kelly's out now for 5 or 6 weeks. He's a big player for them. So, mate, they already were going to struggle against our midfield. Yeah, I think we'll win this. I don't think it's going to be a massive win either. I'm going to predict like anywhere between 1 and 3 goals.
Yeah, I think it'll be close as well, just because Giants are desperate to keep that spot in the 8 or get back into the 8. Sorry, they're just out of it now. But if what Jason Prime's saying as well, Sam Taylor's out, Josh Kelly's out. I think Carlton are just too strong. So yeah. Blues for me.
Yeah. In saying that, I wouldn't be surprised if we drop this game. It's hard to win, and so I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think we will. You guys?
Yeah, no, I think Carlton is going to make sure that they are going to give themselves the Conqueror's name. They're going to cement themselves comfortably. No team can beat them at the moment the way they're playing, and they've got some ripper players. So I think Carlton's going to win this game quite comfortably.
Yeah, you know what, guys? This one is the flip of the coin for me. So it is going to be a great game. I'll flip the coin, but I do have a couple of opinions on the game, but I'll flip it and see how we go. So GWS, Carlton, here we go. So it's heads. It's GWS for me. And if they do win, I think that'll be a bit of a wake-up call for Carlton. And, it'll be interesting to see how they go towards the end of the year. But GWS win. Be mindful that teams will start catching Carlton as well.
You just rely on faith. You must be. I bet you're a massive religious person, but you just rely on faith and hope, don't you? You just imagine, it's got to happen, and that. Well,
yes, Nostradamus, mate. I'm always a firm believer that there is something out there in the world. So if GWS do beat Carlton, that's gonna just settle them down a little bit, not get overconfident, and then teams will start working them out. And we've still got plenty of football to go. But flip of the coin, GWS for me.
Okay, whatever. The teams will start working us out. All right. Next one.
All right. Well, we fly across to WA 8:10 p.m. where Freo take on the Tigers. Not much of a case to mount for Richmond, unfortunately. Freo coming off a strong win against Sydney at home. In front of their crowd, prime time. So in saying that, I'll tip Richmond.
Yes, I can see. I already put R down for you, mate. Richmond. I bet you used to. I don't think you two are going to go Richmond, are you?
Nah, definitely.
Nah. Yeah, well.
You're killing me in the tips this year, Richmond.
It is forever rival. So Richmond, you use it. Richmond, they're shit. They're shit, mate.
They're going to struggle. And Freo.
You say Essendon is shit. Well, let's say Richmond, you're shit. Freo for me, 25 points.
Fuck, I'll take that.
25 is a good, man. If he's can keep Freo's playing some good footy, man. Playing some very good footy, man. So unlike Essendon, they're a deserving third spot on the ladder.
Don't talk about Essendon. We're in top 4. Let's go. Move on. Let's go. Next game.
They're also the only 2 teams to beat Sydney playing as well. So it's the Sydney Cup.
Oh, it is too.
Yeah.
It is too.
The only 2 teams to knock off the Swans. But anyway, that's all right. We'll move on to Sunday Arvo. We got Melbourne taking on the Weagles at the MCG. And this is just a game Melbourne have to win. There you go, Mark.
Yeah, well, it has to be Melbourne. If they lose against West Coast, mate, forget. But yeah, Melbourne for me.
Hey, Mark, Richmond's beaten more top 8 sides than you guys. I actually think Richmond's got
fourth, mate. We're fourth. We're fourth on the ladder. That's it. That's what matters.
Fugazi fourth. I actually think, just on a quick note, I do think Richmond's got a better list than Essendon.
All right.
So everyone picking Melbourne. Next game.
Yeah, Melbourne.
St Kilda take on the Swans, and I don't see St Kilda. It's at Marvel Stadium, but I don't see St Kilda beating Sydney. So Sydney for me.
I don't know what's happened here, but I'm going to add him. What's happened here?
We've got an extra person.
The other one's going to be a nude angle from behind. Oh, no, it's gone.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, so we got St Kilda and Sydney. I know it's over here. Where is it at Marvel?
Marvel, yeah.
Nah, St Kilda are done, mate. I'm telling you, they are just pathetic. I'm going Sydney all the way.
So I know St Kilda are a couple wins in front of Richmond right now, but I would much rather be Richmond than a Richmond supporter than a St Kilda supporter this season. It's that I know they're not a part of the Big Four, but I don't know, they're just a rabble, and there's no real excuse for it either. They should be better than they are, and they're just shit. So I don't know. I'd hate to be a St Kilda supporter.
Yeah.
Rat Poison is 100%. I do remember, and I was one of those people that thought Ross Lyon would be a good fit for us. But you know what? Thank fucking God he didn't come, and he didn't want the job, because seriously, he brings town. He sets teams backwards, man. He sets them backwards, man. And I've heard the problem with that team now is when he goes there, he likes to take control of the whole organisation, and he's done that again. And I don't think that that's the way clubs should be run now, mate. We've moved on from that, man. You need to delegate roles to different people, and he doesn't like doing that, and you can see it. And I'm thinking that Max King should be seriously looking at going somewhere next year, because I think he's wasting his time there. Just quietly, Collingwood should be looking at getting him.
They should, and he's seeing the rest of the season out now too with that injury, so he'll miss the rest of the year. So he's got a lot of time to dwell on it too, and think about other things, because footy won't be on his mind. So plenty of opportunity.
Everyone going for Sydney, or anyone picking
Sydney?
Yeah, obviously Sydney lost last week, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
by a
so
point,
yeah, they lost by a point. So I reckon there's
they had a chance to win it after the siren.
Yeah, well, look, I reckon at Marvel, not for anything, but I honestly, I reckon St Kilda will beat Sydney, because now Sydney have been beaten, and again, it's above the shoulders, and I think St Kilda will win on Sunday. They'll beat Sydney.
You have lost the plot, man.
Well, after Sydney's previous loss, they went on to win like 11 or 12 in a row, so it could go the other way as well. But you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. That's all right. Well, we move on to Sunday Arvo. Brisbane taking on the Crows. And I'm telling you, I know they're just slotted into the 8 now, but Brisbane, the way that they're playing their football, they're going to make a serious charge here, and they won't lose to Adelaide at the Gabba.
No, they won't lose. It's Brisbane.
Yeah, I agree. So Brisbane for me, please.
And Marco,
Brisbane for me as well. Brisbane for me.
They're starting to get some rhythm back, and I even think that they might finish in the top 4. So there you go. All right, let's get into this one here. The first game of the round, but the last game in Fourever Rivals, and it is the Pretenders Cup. Collingwood v Essendon, Friday the 5th of July at the MCG. This is seriously the Pretenders Cup, because 6th versus 4th, they're both pathetic. Before you go into your game, unfortunately, I don't like doing this, right? But Collingwood will win this game. I can't see Essendon winning. They can't do it. And Collingwood will win this game. And I think that Essendon will be maybe 7th or 8th by the end of the round, and they'll be out of the 8 by next week. So
Collingwood for me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'll go. I thought last week was Essendon's chance to prove they were going to be at a top 8 side, and they let me down. So I'm going to go Collingwood this week, just because I haven't seen them beat anybody good just yet. So Collingwood for me.
All right. So we know your 2 tips. I'll put them down. Yeah. Give you 5 minutes to give your case on why your team's going to win.
Well, do you want to start, Mark, or do you? I'll start. Look, I'm happy to start. I think for me, it's just basically we need to lift our game in defence. We need our we're at the moment we're one key defender short. I know that. I mentioned that against Gold Coast, but I think we need to get Darcy Moore to either. I know he hasn't got the confidence at the moment, but we need him to lift his game. We need Billy Frampton to lift his game, and of course, we've lost Bo McCreary, so there's a big loss for us. Johnny Noble with concussion, there's another big loss for us. But having said that, we may have Sir Jamie Elliott back, and he can make all the difference. Pendlebury last week, he had an okay game. Myercheck, pretty average game.
Who's out for Collingwood?
Sorry?
Did you mention, sorry, I was reading the comments. Who's out for Collingwood this week?
McCreary.
Bo McCreary. At the moment, Bo McCreary has got a calf injury. So he's out, and concussion John Noble. So look, having said that, we've got some young boys that have come on board who've really stepped up. So I don't think Essendon at the moment is a real threat for us, purely because I know Essendon is not playing. They're not playing the football they should be playing, and they actually haven't played anyone tough. They drew against us Anzac Day, which was disappointing. But I'm so confident that Collingwood is going to win this game that if Collingwood loses, I'm going to shave my head. Now, put your money where your mouth is, Marco. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, well, I won't be doing that, Manny. I won't be shaving my head for this bet because these days I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how the bets go because people are not, taking their own bets. But anyway, let's make a bet on it. Let's make another bet.
Before you do that, Mark, just quickly, Josh Dacos is a test too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. There's also another player that Collingwood will be missing this week. But if you want to put a bet on it straight away, Manny, let's do it. Let's lock it on the tip now. I'm not going to be shaving my head, but I'm happy to wear a Collingwood Guernsey if Collingwood win. But you need to wear the Essendon scarf.
Big deal. Now you do something that you're going to basically understand that you're going to be scarred for the next 4 or 5 weeks when you come on the show. So when people see you with no hair on your head, they'll say, "Yeah, Mark's got a new hairstyle." Yeah,
you're just about to shave your head anyway, so it doesn't matter. You're just about to shave your head. Let's lock it on its head. If Essendon win, you wear the Essendon scarf.
No.
If Collingwood win, I'll wear the Collingwood.
I told you what I'm going to do.
Oh, well, there's no bet then. Well, there's no bet.
I'm going to shave my head if Collingwood loses. Now, this is how confident I am.
Bet.
This is how confident I am. That Collingwood's is gonna split your butt cheeks and it's gonna give it to you. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Forget it.
Oh,
put your money where your mouth is.
Obviously, you're planning to shave your head the next week because that's what you're going to do.
I've got to clip that.
I'll wear the Collingwood Guernsey if Essendon lose.
What's that?
I'll wear the Collingwood Guernsey if Essendon lose.
Now, if Essendon lose, though, you got to wear it for the whole show, not for 5 minutes. Not like when you butchered the Richmond theme song last time you guys played. You got to wear it the whole show and wear it properly.
I'll wear it properly. Don't worry. I've got a Guernsey just made up just at the back there. You'll be quite surprised. But anyway, on the game, man. On the game. All right?
This is from Matula.
Okay. All right.
That's right. All right. As long as you agree to it, that's it, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see some shaved heads next week. That's for sure.
All right.
Anyway, my prediction.
Just tell me. Yeah. What's your prediction? What's your prediction?
Collingwood by 4 goals. 4 goals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 goals.
All right. What about you? Hey, Seba's already. So get ready for all over TikTok. You're gonna see Manny do that. Do that all over TikTok. So he's gonna clip it, and we've already done it. So Seba's right onto it, mate. You're fucked, mate. You can't do nothing. What about you, Marcock? Quickly.
Okay, look, just quickly, mate. Look, what a blockbuster game this is going to be this Friday night. The MCG, two rivals, Collingwood and Essendon. Regardless of the weather conditions, I will make a couple of points. We need to make some changes this week, and I think the crucial change would be not to have the two ruckmen. So one ruckman this week, bring in a young fella by the name of Caddy, put him in the forward line. We've got a young gun in the midfield called Ben Hobbs. He's a bit of a tough in and under player. Fantastic to be brought into these conditions. And you know what? Maybe throw one of these young players like a Davey, one of the Davey boys, bring him in, spark it up like a bit of a, Elliot or one of these young Indigenous players in the Collingwood side. So bringing in one of these Indigenous players into our team, I think it's going to make a massive difference. It's going to be a tough game, honestly, but if we continuously kick the ball into our forward 50 more than what Collingwood do and convert, I think we will beat Collingwood by 4 goals. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's actually
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that. If we kick the ball into the 50 more times, if we score again, and if we score
and
more goals, we'll win.
Capitalize, Rocco. We need to capitalize because we've been doing it every week and we're not capitalizing and kicking these goals when we go forward. And that can change in the game of football. It might be this week. And when it is, be careful of. Don't worry about Carlton.
Yeah.
I just reckon.
Yeah.
Let's get the ball forward. Let's capitalize on going forward and kick those bloody goals because that's all that matters in the game of football.
Hey,
goals,
Mark,
kicking goals.
make sure you go down to Vic Market on Friday during the day and go down to the food and veg department down there. Potatoes, we got fresh spuds here, the kilo. Because all you're going to be talking about is potatoes, mate, because you guys are going to get fried.
That's
and like I said to you before, we're going to open up, you're going to split, we're going to split your cheese, and then we're going to be
I'm going to the fruit and veg market, and I'm going to be buying myself a massive, big massive packet of spuds for when GWS beat Carlton. And next week's show, those spuds are coming out, mate. So I appreciate your advice there, Manny, on going to the fruit and veg market. Whereabouts was it? Footscray or the Queen Victoria market? Where was it?
I'll tell you what. I've got a joke later about the Queen Victoria market, Manny.
All right, let's say. I've got to take control here because we're starting to go over time here. Listen, just quietly, if I can give you 5 minutes, Mark, to already complain about the umpiring before the game even happens. Do you want that 5 minutes now? Because you can get ahead.
I've already spoken about it.
I'm talking about next week. You can get ahead already.
Oh, no, we'll wait. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
The other one is that we've got a challenge for where is it? All right, we've got a challenge for Manny. Manny, if you could spell Bontempelli's name with your hands up in the air, I'll buy a Collingwood membership. Go. Put your hands in the air and spell his name now.
Is that BONTAMPELLI spells Bontempelli?
To tell you the truth, I don't even know if that's right, so I can't bloody... Was it wrong?
I think just off. I'm double checking it.
Why?
So there's no A. There's no A.
You fucked it up. You could
What
have
do
got
you mean?
another.
Is it BONTEMPELI?
Yeah, BONTEMPELLI. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
You were that was good though. That was very good.
Belly. Well, therefore, there you go.
It was a good effort. All right, listen. Let's go. We got to bloody move. So let's we'll just put this up again. Oh, sorry. Wrong one. We'll just put up.
You can put it back up if you want.
No, we'll just put it up. We'll just put up this. Sorry.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Sorry, man. I keep just putting up the wrong ones, man. I don't really bloody mean it, man. Like, sorry, this is the one.
Go, Collingwood! We're black and white. We bleed black and white, and we've always been an army reckon with.
Oh, it's far out. Sorry, guys. I'm just keep putting up.
Oh, no. No.
Man, I don't know what's going on. I swear to God, I'm not putting
The
these
epitome of a Collingwood.
Go to Pines! Come on!
Yeah. Come on.
I'm from Maui! I'm from Maui!
That's always the best one. It's always the best one.
This is what I wanted to show. Here we go. That tips. Rocco, he got 7 this week. Manny got 6. Mark got 5, so I've streaked ahead of Mark too. And Quinn, you got 3 this week, man. So you fell on 69, and you know about what happens when it happens on the 69er.
I do.
Yeah, so that was that one there. All right, this is good. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to try quickly. This is going to be a quick one, yeah, because we'll probably play with it a little bit more next week. And from Maui, everyone loves that. That is the best, man. We're going to call this one, I don't know, if someone's got a better name for it, I was thinking of calling it Under the Pump. A rival can ask any other rival a serious question about their team, and we've got to answer it honestly. So we'll be quick because we did say 2 hours and we're moving on, but we're doing good so far. Let's go. Does anyone want to start? One question it can be to any rival. It can be to the same rival, just whatever you want.
There's no logo. There's no like.
Nah, man. Sorry, man. I haven't got time to do everything, man. I was too busy getting those rules for you, Mark, this week.
Well, speaking of, and we already spoke about it a little bit, but this is being genuine because we were taking the piss and we're having a laugh about it. But being genuine, I wanted to ask you, Mark, because I know we've been making fun of you, like I said. But is there for you personally, is there any bit of concern heading into finals? Because you'll most likely play finals, Essendon. But is there any bit of concern of your record against the top 8 sides heading into that patch of games coming in the back end of the year, or do you think it's like it'll be fine? Is there any concern?
Look, I'll be honest with your question there, Quinn. Yeah, there is some concerns because we haven't beaten any of the top 8 sides. But I think we just need to just beat one of those sides, and that could change the rest of the season. So I've got faith in the Essendon Football Club. The only reason why is that because I guess we're still learning and we're still rebuilding, and we just need to just take that little trick, and we just need to beat either Collingwood this week or possibly Melbourne. So if we don't beat Collingwood, that's okay. I'll move on from there, but we need to beat Melbourne the week after. And, I think we'll be right and make the finals. And, if we get that momentum going, I'd be careful about who Essendon plays against because we'll be right up there, I reckon.
All right.
Break the damn wall.
The first under the pump question. Next one. Who's next?
Well, I was going to ask Quinn this question. Now, Quinn, I know he's celebrated his 300th game. I know he's a legend of the game. And I know that at the moment, the reality is that he's still too young to hang his boots. I still reckon he's got a couple of years to go. Is it fair to say that, does he actually have an injury? Or do you think this is all part of a plan for him to fly up north?
No, I do.
Will you be disappointed if he goes?
Yes, I'd be disappointed if he goes to the Gold Coast. I do think he does actually have an injury. I don't think it's a serious injury. I just think at his age and where we're at as a team, there's no point pushing him through it. Like we're, second last in the ladder. We're not going anywhere. Why push him? I think he'll hang him up at the end of the year. I know, like you said, he's a bit young. He'll probably got another year or two. From what I'm seeing, I think he'll hang him up. I don't think he'll leave, but I could be wrong. And if he does, yes, to answer that part of the question, I would be disappointed.
Nice. Under the pump.
I've got an under the pump question for Quinn as well.
Far out. Quinny, go back.
My question is, Quinn, should Richmond trade at the end of the year Daniel Rioli, Dustin Martin, and Tom Lynch, which will free up $4.2 million in their salary cut? And I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but they can go out and chase, say, a Harley Reid, or they've got plenty of money to go out and chase some other players out there, Sydney players and Carlton players that are possibly maybe running out of a contract. So it's just an under the pump. Those players, those three players, fantastic for the club. But would you trade those three, get some dollars under your cap, and go out and go and search some other players?
I wouldn't trade all three of them, just because I feel like if you get rid of too many of your senior players all at once, you end up doing what North Melbourne did and you completely bottom out, and then it takes years and years to rebuild. I think you need some sort of stability in leadership in the team. But I definitely wouldn't be opposed to, getting some money back from their salary cap. The only problem is trying to find someone for them as well. Like Tom Lynch is injury prone now. It's going to be hard to palm off to somebody. That's the problem. Does he want to go anywhere else? And the problem with Daniel Rioli too is now, obviously Gold Coast has been the rumor with Daniel, but he doesn't want to leave his uncle Morris either. So I do want to clear up some salary space to answer your question, because I think to bring somebody in, you're going to need it. And these three guys are taking a lot of coin. But Dusty is a free agent, I believe, at the end of the year. So if he stays with Richmond or he retires, we might get that money back in some other way anyway. So, but yeah, long story short, I would like to use some sort of money to drag some players in. But I don't know if we can do all three at the same time. I feel like it hurts the club too much.
Yeah.
Under the pump, Quinny, under the pump. Now, no one asked me a question. I was expecting like questions flying at me, but I've got my question, unfortunately, goes to Quinny again.
Yours will be coming soon, okay? Yours will be coming the later segments. They'll come.
Yeah, all right. That's very good, Mark. My question goes to Quinny. It's a two-parter kind of. First of all, do you think that your coach is the right coach? What you've seen him do you think he's the right coach for the job? And I know it's only like the first year or so, but already are you seeing there? The other part is with the trades. Forget about Dusty and all that. Dusty, like it doesn't really matter. Even Lynch, it really doesn't matter. My question is, should you get rid of Shy Bolton and get 2 first-round picks for him if it was offered to you?
Yeah, so I'll answer the first part, and yes, I know it's still very early, but I'm happy with Uze. I think the way that he's got that player first mentality, he's all for the players, the well-being of them. He's a relationship builder, which we've seen blokes like Craig McRae do it. The players want to play for a coach like that, and I think Uze's got that about him. So I definitely love that part of it. I love the way he speaks. I think it's too hard to judge his game style just because of the inconsistencies in the side that we've had. We haven't had a consistent team to play the new game style. So if you ask me this time next year, it might be a different answer. But yes, to answer your question, I think I'm happy with him. And I think he's the right man at the moment. In terms of Shea Bolton, I feel like
The reason I said like 2 first round was to really make it attractive for you. You know what I mean? Like, because I probably wouldn't want to get rid of him, but if there was a good enough offer that you could really start rebuilding, would he be one you're thinking about?
Yeah, well, he'd have to be, I think, purely because of the talent, and you know that he could bring picks in. But similarly to what I answered with Mark's question as well, I think it depends what happens with Liam Baker and what happens with Rioli, because I don't think you can get rid of too many of these guys at the same time. I feel like it's too damaging. So if Baker goes and Rioli goes, then no, I'd keep Shea. But if he's the only one, then I would be open to the 2 first rounders, because it's a strong draft this year too. It's a strong draft. So if we can get 2 first rounders for Shea and you go deep into the draft, it'd be good.
Very good. I like it. Under the pump, and he's done well. He's done well, the young man.
He's copped it. He's copped it tonight, Quinny. He's copped it tonight.
I mean, we're second last on the ladder. I've deserved it.
That's good. And what happens is when your team is like in a position, and you have got injuries, it'd be nice to see when those players come back where you're really at. But these are the kind of things you start thinking about. Who can you trade? What can we do? A team like Richmond now, I mean, you got to start. At the end of the day, you do have to start rebuilding, man, and start build. Well, an interesting fact about Carlton, and we are playing well this year. We played well last year. We're playing well this year. It all started 2013, if you think about it, right? Because we drafted Patrick Cripps in 2013, right? And then 2015 was the big one with Curnow and Mackay and TDK and all that, right? And then we got Walsh in 18, and then we started like flickering all these players. And this week, I think people like Hollins is a great pickup. Akers could be one of the best wingmen going around. But the fact is, maybe you should have asked me this question. But the fact is, it's taken 11 years to get to this point, right? Of building. So this point here that we're second on the ladder, 6 points clear, right? So it takes you, and we're playing very good football, and we're dominant all over the side, all over the park. The point is, and Chincotta, and you get all those things that have been sprinkled around. But at the end of the day, when you're coming from a low position, you might be thinking, and even now people like Fogarty, a very integral part of our game. You people like Boyd is very integral. He was a mid-season draft pick. You're picking up these players. The first time Fogarty came to the team, he played in the first 6-7 rounds, and he was great, and he was playing. Couldn't get back in the team after that, and we were going, he's just another bloody Geelong player, mate. Come to 2023-24, he becomes integral part of the team. So it takes a long time to build, and you have to start making these decisions early, and you might not see the fruits of it, but 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the track, when your plays are 25, 26, 27, that's when you start seeing fruit, you know? So that's my take on the Blues. All right, what a week it's been in the Fourever Rivals. All right.
Hey, you almost said it. You almost said it.
I did almost say it. Did you want to do your joke, or you want to leave it this week?
Look, I think I'll leave it this week.
All right, that's all right. That's all right. He's leaving. He's had some news, so he doesn't really. That's fair enough. No, but that'll be back next week. Manny, make us laugh. We need that. Now we've got the new segment. I think Under the Pump. I think it worked well. The whole show's come up pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that. And we informed everyone, all 70 to 80 people that have been watching the whole show. Thank you very much. Please put the like and subscribe. It helps us. It helps the algorithm. It helps us put it out there.
It does.
It does, man. And we appreciate any messaging, man. Just send us messaging and all that. And I think that's it. Anyone else got anything to say before we go?
Hot pies.
Get 'em.
Bombers. Go
Ota.
Dons, mate.
All right, so you are all losers.
Trash days pies,
Really
man.
doesn't matter what happens to you guys, but hey, we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Go Blues!
Ota.
Get 'em.